What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have an absolute banger of a video. We have an in-depth comparison between the Venom Shock and the Fatal Venom. Stay tuned after the intro. So the Venom Shock is easily one of the greatest balls that we have ever made. Now we're going to see how it stacks up to the new kid on the block, the Fatal Venom. But if you're new here to my channel and you like the content that you're seeing, make sure to give me a like, a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop a new video. 70% of my total views are coming from non-subscribers, so I would super appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And if you like this jersey or any of the jerseys in any of my videos, you can head on over to logoinfusion.com, use my promo code Lewis, and it'll get you 20% off your entire order. We are running a buy 4 get 1 free deal, and then you can use my promo code to get 20% off on top of that sale. So the Shock and the Fatal are almost as different as two bowling balls can be. One comes sanded out of the box, one comes polished. One is on the early side while the other one's a little bit more angular. But the one thing that these balls have in common, the one big thing that they have in common, is that they both have the gear core. And like I've always said, the gear core has those magic numbers, in my opinion. They both have an RG of 2.48 and a differential of 0.034. So what that means for the Shock and the Fatal is that the core wants to get into a roll pretty early because that RG is on the lower side. And then because that differential is in that medium-low category, it's not gonna flare a whole lot. So we'll start with the Venom Shock. The Venom Shock has that gear core like we just talked about, and then wrapped around that gear core is the Turmoil medium friction solid cover, which comes out of the box at a 4000 laser scan sand. And for this video, I took it back to that box of 4000. And then the layout on my Shock is 30 by 5 1/8 by 30. Like I've always said about the Shock, it may not always be the ball that gets me the big scores, but because of how extremely versatile this ball is, it's always the ball that I can go to that will lead me in the direction to the ball that I need to be in. I can throw the Venom Shock from straight, and I can hook the whole lane with it, and everywhere in between. This ball has always been a staple in my bag, and it is incredibly versatile. And then we have the Fatal Venom, which also has that gear core, but this time it's wrapped around the Infusion Pro cover, which comes out of box at a 5500 laser scan polish. Now, as you guys know by now, I love this Infusion Pro cover. The layout on my Fatal Venom is 50 by 4 by 40, and let me just tell you, this ball is a true pearl version of the Venom Shock. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. It is a true pearl version of the Venom Shock. Now, when I say a true pearl version of the Venom Shock, what I mean is that it rolls very similarly to the Venom Shock, but the Fatal is going to be a little bit longer and it's going to be a little bit more angular, which is exactly what you want to see when looking for a pearl version of a solid bowling ball. This Fatal Venom is the perfect and the best complement to the Venom Shock that we have ever got from Motive, and I couldn't be happier with this Fatal Venom. I'm going to take you guys out on the lanes now so you can see the Venom Shock and the Fatal Venom in action. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have a Venom Shock in your bag and what you think about it, and if you're considering ordering the Fatal Venom when it comes out. Thank you guys for joining me for this in-depth comparison between the Venom Shock and the Fatal Venom. Now, as always, I'm going to show you every single shot that I threw in this session, the good shots and the bad. As I've always said, it is incredibly important to show the good shots as well as the bad to show you a true comparison between the two bowling balls. It's all too easy to make every single bowling ball look amazing if all I did was show the strikes. Now, let me just start off by saying that it is incredibly hard to compare any bowling ball to a Venom Shock. The Venom Shock has been a staple in pretty much all the Motive staffers bags for years. It is one of the greatest bowling balls ever made. It's one of the most versatile balls ever made, and a personal favorite all time of mine. So anytime they make a new ball with the Venom name on it, it's automatically going to be held to a higher standard. So we get the Fatal Venom, which has the Venom name and the gear core, and they gave it the best pearl cover that we have ever had. So the bar going in for this Fatal Venom was going to be extremely high no matter what. And let me tell you that it met that bar easily. This Fatal Venom, like I said before, is a true pearl version of the Venom Shock. I believe this is a ball that we have been missing in our bag or in our lineup for a very, very long time. One of the things that I noticed when comparing the Shock and the Fatal was that pretty much the entire time the Shock was going to be a little bit earlier and a little bit smoother when compared to the Fatal, but it's still, both balls maintain that same timeless ball motion that the Venom Shock creates. I would say with 100% certainty that on this day, the Fatal Venom actually looked better on the fresh. So far in throwing this Fatal Venom, I have really liked it when I can keep my angle a little bit more in front of me and not give away the pocket as much. On the fresh here, I had my feet and target at the same spot for both balls, but like I said, the Fatal was going to be a little bit longer and create a little bit more angle down lane. Now, as we progress through this video, you're going to notice that I'm going to be moving further left faster with the Venom Shock compared to the Fatal. Now that is because of the cover, mostly because the Shock comes with some surface while the Fatal has the polish on it. One of the things that I've really noticed is that as I chase both balls left, the Shock tends to be a little bit better for me from the inside part of the lane, just because of that cover, it can handle the higher volumes of oil that the Fatal, because it comes polished and it's pretty shiny out of the box, just cannot handle those higher volumes. I think what's going to set this Fatal Venom apart from other pearls in our line is that it's going to be very versatile. If you're someone who's maybe rev dominant, who isn't able to throw the Venom Shock just because of how strong the cover is, the Fatal Venom is going to be a really, really good option. And then for pretty much everyone else, the Fatal Venom is going to be a really good step down from the Venom Shock. My eyes are so happy seeing a Venom Shock motion that is a pearl that's a little bit longer, that creates a little bit more shape down lane. Because even when you polish a Venom Shock, it's still not going to be as clean through the fronts or as angular as this Fatal Venom. Now, you all know that I love talking about versatility, and I can see myself keeping this Fatal Venom in my bag, especially for League, for a very, very long time. I am actually really looking forward to doing the surface video for the Fatal Venom. In the original review, Andrew had his Fatal Venom with some surface. I think it was like 3,000 or 2,000, and it rolled absolutely amazing for him. So I'm really curious to see how this ball is going to roll for me with the polish and then all the way down to 500 grit, so we can see how versatile this ball is. One of the, if not the biggest things that excites me about this Fatal Venom is that the Venom Shock has been my absolute go-to ball for a very, very long time. It's the ball that I take to every single tournament, and it's pretty much always the first ball out of my bag. So what excites me the most about this Fatal is seeing how it's going to roll once I get out of the Venom Shock and transition into the Fatal Venom. Because right now, I'm throwing both balls on the fresh. I really want to see how this Fatal rolls once I go to the Fatal from the Shock. So the USBC Open Championships are pretty much right around the corner, and in building my bag for what I plan to take to the Open Championships, so the Venom Shock's always going to be in the bag no matter what, so is the Jackal Ghost. This Fatal Venom is for sure going to round off that first bag for the Open Championships. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like to see a video where I bowl on last year's Open Championships pattern and build an arsenal for what I plan to take to the Open Championships this year. So like I said before, it is incredibly difficult to compare any bowling ball to a Venom Shock just because of how all-time great the Venom Shock is and has always been. With that being said, it is my opinion that this Fatal Venom has a ton of potential to be one of these all-time greats. Now, I'm not saying that it's the greatest ball ever. I'm not even saying that it's better than the Venom Shock. I'm just saying that this ball has a ton of potential. Till next time, guys. Well, there you have it, folks. There's my in-depth comparison between the Venom Shock and the Fatal Venom. Let me know down below in the comments what other balls you would like to see compared to the Fatal Venom. Click right here to watch one of my older videos. Click right here to subscribe. Till next time, guys.